Welcome to this week's episode of Lagnapod. I'm Rob Holbert, your host. Everybody who's here, sound off.
Ashley Trice.
I'm Scott Johnson.
Kyle Hamrick.
We have a smaller group this week. Scott, make sure your microphone's on there. I think it
Check.
is. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, Kyle, you just got back just a few minutes ago. We're doing this on Wednesday, and you just got back from the installation of our new Archbishop, Mark Rivituso. Am I saying that right?
That is correct. Rivituso.
Archbishop Rivituso.
Yes, sir. Of St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
He was installed today at a special mass at the Basilica downtown.
The cathedral. Yes.
They had the nuncio, who is the ambassador from the Vatican
the
to
papal
the
nuncio.
United States.
Yes.
The papal nuncio
Now,
was here.
You're not a Catholic, right?
I am not a Catholic.
So this is a big show. I mean, I've never been to an installation of an archbishop either.
Right.
As someone who's brought up Catholic, I never have seen anything like that either. But so this was a pretty big show.
This was quite the spectacle. As soon as I got there, I was greeted by the Knights of Peter Claver.
Yeah,
who were wearing these large...
I'll be honest with you, I've never even heard of the Knights of Peter Claver.
Well, they are, from what I have been told, they're the African-American version of the Knights of Columbus.
Gotcha. Okay, now I know what you're talking about.
Yes. And they were the first thing that I saw, and they were wearing these big old Three Musketeer kind of hats.
Yes.
Huge feathers, capes, and swords.
Yes.
And they, along with the Knights of Columbus, were like the honor guard of this whole thing. They had swords, and they were tasked with like keeping the peace at the whole thing.
Right. Yes.
So
there's always trouble.
There's always some discontent just roiling here, just that they had to keep back. So I saw those guys, and I kind of looked around, and they brought in all of the servers. They had the incense going.
Yeah.
Very strong stuff.
Now, there were a number of other bishops as well.
There were a ton of bishops there. Yeah. I believe I spotted the Archbishop of St. Louis there, which I know that the new Archbishop Rivituso said that he had some friends and colleagues come down.
Where had Rivituso been prior to this?
He was, I'm not going to get this title quite right, but he was basically the number 2 guy in the Archdiocese of St. Louis.
Okay. All right.
And he had grown up there, and he became a priest there. I believe he actually was ordained by Bishop May, who was one of the bishops of Mobile.
Okay.
He moved up to St. Louis, and he ordained this Rivituso into a priest. So there's a lot of connections here between St. Louis and Mobile. But they installed him with a formal letter and decree from the Pope that the nuncio, who was a cardinal from France, read. It was quite
comical, right?
Yes, he was. He had a. You could tell that he was from France. He had a very nice French accent,
but he had a good sense of humor.
He had a very good sense of humor. Rhodey kind of gave everybody a history lesson about like how the French came to colonize this part of the state, and the nuncio got up and told everybody, said, "I just want to be clear. I am from France, but I'm not here to start a new colony." Okay. And that got some good chuckles from the crowd there. But after they installed Rivituso, he carried around the letter from the Pope and like showed it to everybody in the cathedral. Yeah. It was this big old scroll written in this like kind of a medieval cursive font in Latin, and he walked up and down the aisle on basically a victory lap and was showing everybody his for lack of a better term certificate for becoming Pope.
Very nice.
And I
becoming
saw it
bishop.
Yeah. Sorry, not
he didn't become Pope.
Where's the smoke coming?
Not becoming Pope, becoming the Archbishop. Right. Sorry for the promotion. But yeah, he and I saw it. It said he was the next Archbishop. So yeah.
Well, what kind of comments did Bishop Rivituso make?
He is very concerned about homelessness in the community. He is a very servant-minded, priest. That's kind of their whole thing to begin with. But Rivituso really prioritized opening up some services, some new offerings for homeless people, for immigrants.
Well, he'll have plenty of takers down here,
especially down in the Tillman's Corner branch of the diocese. He'll be able to get some good work done there. Talked to some folks after the Mass who were very thrilled to have him here. They're really looking forward to some good things coming out of new Archbishop Rivituso.
That's pretty exciting stuff. It sounds like it was a very interesting, probably once in a lifetime thing to see.
Absolutely. Very neat thing. I believe he's 63.
So he'll be around for a while.
He'll be around for a little bit. Rhodey was here for 17 or 18 years.
Yeah, he's been around for a
while.
He
had to submit his resignation when he turned 75.
So he'll be here for 12 years then.
Right. He will be here
likely. That was math.
That's that quick math. That's that quick math that I cannot do.
All right.
So,
that's cool. That's nice. And we will have more on that in the paper this coming week. We'll be doing more on that and cover a little bit more.
The papal paper.
It is not papal. He's a bishop, y'all. Y'all kept trying to promote him.
He just got a promotion.
He just got a promotion. Y'all are trying to give him another promotion immediately.
I just trying to do a play on words.
Get it straight, y'all. Get it straight.
Ashley's over here just nailing the theses on the door again.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, really. Let's go back to city council a little bit. We had this week we had a little bit of noise in city council with the certification of the vote, and in District 2 councilman, the only councilman to lose election this week, he's a little salty.
Yeah. So what happened? The city council on Tuesday had an item to basically say that they have looked at the numbers from last week's vote, and these are the
certification
winners,
of the vote
to certify them, for lack of a better word, there,
or to draw it out as much as possible.
Or to
for those who don't know what the term certification means, to really really get a full minute and a half of explaining what that is. Yeah, that's it.
So anyway, when the time came to vote on this, they went down the line for Gina Gregory, yes. Josh Woods, yes. When it got to William Carrol, he said he would abstain.
Right.
Because there is an appearance that the Zogby Act, which governs how the city of Mobile, functions, there's an appearance that law is not being followed,
being violated in some form.
An appearance.
He's clearly alluding to his opponent in the race,
to Samantha Ingram, who defeated him by a pretty good margin of votes.
Right.
There are some questions about her residency in the city.
That's right.
Her voting in Georgia in 2024. There's some questions there, and now
there's not really a question about her voting in Georgia. We got documentation that she voted in Georgia back last November. Correct.
Right. That's correct.
So she voted in the presidential race at that time in Georgia.
And so I'm guessing what the real issue here is that she was living in Georgia and had owned a home here, or kind of going back and forth or something like that.
Right. What it sounds like.
Right. That's what it sounds like.
And voted there, and now under the Zogby Act, if you're running for city council, you have to be in the city for a year.
Right.
And so that would be, so she was voting there either as a resident in Georgia, or she was voting illegally in Georgia.
Does it spell out like what constitutes being a residence? Is it just simply owning property, or is it, paying a water bill? I mean, I
just
don't know.
being there, I guess.
Well, she bought a house on Texas Street in June 2023.
Right.
And then it was after that in 2024 that she was back in Georgia voting in November.
She's owned that house since 2023.
Yeah. She's owned that house. That's right.
The actual lines of residency get really weird when you actually dig into it.
It all is. I mean, it's really
but the
shaky.
mayor only has to live, was it 90
days?
90 days.
The mayor only has to be a resident for 90 days. The city council person only has to be a resident of the district they want to live in for 90 days.
Well, for 1 year.
No, you have to be in the city for a year.
You have to be in the city for a year,
to be in the district for 90 days.
Okay.
which also,
Sorry.
I mean, it's a
Right.
mess.
And then to run for Congress, you have to just live in the state for one day.
Right.
And then you're good to go.
Yeah.
But
And you don't have to live in your district to run for a district.
Right, in Congress.
Congressional race.
Right.
Which is
But,
insane.
It's so confusing. All
It
these
is
things.
confusing, and I think people get really upset about it. Look, it's one of my biggest pet peeves is people not running, not living where they say they're going to, where they're trying to run for office. That all said, she has had property in this district, and my guess is that because it's going to be a situation where if she did anything illegal, it was done in Georgia, and is Georgia going to even go after it to make that case against her?
That's up to
versus,
Georgia.
if she's living here, if she says, "Hey, I live here. This is where I don't know if she has a homestead exemption on that house. We haven't checked that, but if that is her primary residence, I'm guessing this thing's probably not going to go anywhere.
Yeah,
but
I can't see there being enough motivation from either side to even want to coordinate with the other states' attorneys.
It does sound like it would be a difficult thing to have, a circumstance where Georgia all of a sudden is going to say, we really we care about this one vote.
Yeah, and we're going to disenfranchise the voters of Mobile, Alabama, who chose this woman to be their representative.
Although, given what occurred in 2020, that they may say, hey, this is a situation where somebody probably shouldn't have voted here, and we may come after them. I don't know.
Is that a felony or just like a misdemeanor? Or would it still, and would that even if they went after her in Georgia, are there any
would that
rules?
preclude her from being here?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that, and I think that was the allusion to all this.
We have a newspaper. We should do some reporting.
We should. We could actually look these things up.
Somebody should check this out.
Somebody ought to look this up.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's all written down anywhere specifically of exactly what happens, and so, but there is some talk, I think, behind the scenes that somebody might file suit this week.
That's what I've heard. Which Reggie Hill, who also ran in the District 2 race, filed a lawsuit against the city over this issue of the residency,
which the city has no power over.
The city has no power to verify these claims made by the candidates. And the judge in that case dismissed that lawsuit, but said that any kind of challenge would have to involve Ingram and take place after the election. So, which I believe that lawsuit has been refiled. But I have heard that some other challenges may come out. I think to look into this.
Reggie Hill's his legal knowledge is not great in that regard. I mean, I think his first swipe of this thing was done very poorly. I would be surprised if he's doing it again, that it's going to be any much better. But I don't know. The big thing to me, I look at it and say, is William Carrol, is he going to push it? Because the fact of it is, he got voted out. He really shouldn't have won last time. I mean, except for Levon Manzi dying. So it's not been, it would be sort of another kind of a fluke to get in for two times in a row.
He has not commented to me on the Ingram stuff. I tried to get that out of him. He wouldn't comment.
Right.
And he also wouldn't say if he personally would bring the challenge in this case. So we'll have to see what ultimately happens.
But one thing he did say,
what he did say
was that he's interested in having the city annex Big Creek Lake.
That is correct.
Which is going to cause
condos on the shores, right?
Yes. Build an amusement park around it. The
Carroll Land. We're going to build it.
That was a joke.
That's a joke. That's not news.
That will infuriate the Take Back the Lake people. If just to even hear that anybody on city council is interested in that idea.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's been their claim, is that the city wants Big Creek Lake. They want to take it away. And that's been their claim all along. They've been making the annex claims. And this kind of substantiates those in a way, because even though the city itself, the city administration says, there's no plans, there's never been plans. Now you have a city councilman saying it, and then you on top of the Moz board like preemptively agreeing to annex. So you get it's.
But I mean, it's really just one city council person.
Well, saying, and it was Joel Daves. Joel Daves came out too and was pretty harsh too. He said that there are these Westerners and these politicians.
These Westerners.
These Westerners. What he said. These Westerners at the edge of our city.
Hats.
Those Lucedale, Mississippi people,
right? Who want?
Yeah.
And he said, if these people get back on the lake and our water rates go up as part of the efforts to keep it free of the invasive species, these Westerners and these politicians will not be near us, will not be here for us to blame.
You know what I do want
is what Joel Dave said.
I think this thing has gotten out of hand in general, but I will say Mobile, Alabama has some of the best tasting drinking water in the United States.
It does.
It's really good.
Delicious.
It is.
I like the water.
It gets voted as the best drinking water
I mean,
too.
it is just top notch. You go up like even a couple hours from here, and it's nasty, full of sulfur.
And you go to New Orleans, and it's full of soap.
Yeah,
it's terrible. I've thought about what would be a great bar is to open up a place called the Tap Room, but it's just nothing but tap water from different places.
Oh, I like that.
And then you could just taste the different tap water.
We need to.
You get crazy and have some Flint, Michigan. You could get nuts.
Like the world of Coke.
What I think we should do with Big Creek is open a vodka distillery and have Big Creek vodka made distilled with the Big Creek
with
water.
Big Creek water.
Very nice.
The pristine,
with a touch of some Salvinia for garnish.
Got that sweet little Salvinia flavor to it.
A Mobile julep, you could call it.
The Mobile
Big Creek goose.
Well, I think again, when we talk about this, I think it's important to notice or to point out that currently Moz has a plan to keep it open for recreation and for fishing, but it just will not allow people to use their own boats.
Which, as someone, we have a little boat. I mean, good Lord, it's such a pain in the butt to haul and then clean and all that. It kind of sounds nice to be able to just get out there and have a boat provided for you.
It wouldn't break my heart either, but I get that, people want to use their own boat and that kind of thing.
Well, they pay good money for it,
But yeah, I get it. But I mean,
and has this really just become more like you can't, don't tread on me.
That's exactly right. That's my assessment.
The usage of the lake itself.
That's my assessment. Feels that way to me.
But it's our water.
Yeah. I mean, Scott's covered this quite a bit, but I mean, it does seem like they've gotten into. They kind of hang their hat on this whole navigability thing, this issue that it's a navigable waterway, and kind of forget or just conveniently leave out the fact that this reservoir was created for drinking water. And it is, I mean, as I said before, and I know they're mad at me because I've written some columns saying that I think this is a good compromise, but I do think it's a good compromise, and I wasn't in favor of them shutting. When at first they said, "Oh, we're going to just shut it down completely," I thought, man, that seems kind of over the top. And they've got a plan to allow people to continue to fish and boat out there. So
it's probably one of those things that will be solved by science soon, too. Like that someone will figure out how to get rid of any of these.
As one of the people who keeps posting over and over again says every time, we've put a man on the moon, why can't we do this? Like, we put a man on the moon 60 years ago, but why can't we?
There are lots of things like that, but it seems like this is one of the things they could figure out. Like,
well, I mean,
if
it's
you can
problem.
figure it out, and they can manage invasive species, they can, and that that's why everyone's like, well, they do it across everywhere else in the state.
Right. Yeah, it makes your water bill go up, though.
But it's expensive. Right. A gallon of this stuff to treat Salvinia gas is $2,000, and It's crazy expensive.
I don't want to pay that.
They're already spending over $100,000 a year just on Salvinia, right?
Yeah.
And so then if you've got zebra mussels that are in there as well, then it's just another expense. And,
they estimate $300,000 with zebras.
Can you eat zebra mussels?
No, apparently not.
You can eat anything.
You can eat anything you want.
Eat anything.
Yeah, you can do it.
Maybe just
so we got Salvinia grasses from Brazil. Zebra mussels are from Russia. Yeah. I mean, it's just like
it sounds like a good restaurant going on out there.
It's an invasion.
The boaters are from Ousted.
Yeah,
come on.
I don't know where they're picking up all this stuff. Well, we'll leave on that note, and we'll come back after this little break. Thanks. And we are back. Scott, you went down to the federal court yesterday for this a hearing on a lawsuit filed by CC Dixon Moreno, the attorney in Orange Beach, who has been giving Tony Kennon and the city a lot of hell and doing a bunch of stuff down there. And she has filed suit to try to get the body camera footage from last Labor Day when the 911, the infamous 911 call. I'm not going to go back through the whole details of this. People haven't paid attention to that at this point, but the 911 call outside of his office, and like us, she actually had audio from the video as well that she put on her Facebook page. But she is trying to get those videos, and she filed suit with the city, and they asked for it to be kicked into federal court. So that's where it went yesterday, right?
Yeah. It's gone to federal court. So she filed because she filed a public records request asking for the body cam footage.
Right.
She claims that at that point the city tried to obstruct her request.
Right.
They ignored it. They, etc. But she also alleged that her First Amendment rights were being violated because Tony Kennon apparently blocked her from his campaign account.
He did for a little bit.
Yeah. So
but he brought her back.
Yeah. So that's what kicked it up in a federal court. There was a First Amendment claim.
But they pushed that. Didn't the city push it back in? Didn't they ask that it go to federal court? Or?
Yeah.
Yes.
They because of that claim though, the First Amendment claim with the social media blocking. Anyway, so yesterday there was a hearing just to try and get the groundwork, get some motions cleared out. There was a motion to dismiss by the city, and we didn't even get past that. As soon as they sat down, they were like, "This is a shotgun pleading, and this is
so."
Why.
Shotgun pleading is essentially when you just basically just name everybody in sight.
Yeah,
and
spray and pray.
Yeah, spray and pray. Just like we're suing everybody.
Yeah,
suing everybody alive. Yeah. And
so Judge Beaverstock immediately agreed with that. He said, "This is a clinic in shotgun pleading." It just it named all the defendants, and then it just basically indiscriminately applied those defendants to every allegation she made.
Yeah.
So he said, "There's some issues. I'm going to dismiss it. I'm going to give you 30 days to refile." And past that, nothing actually substantial was kind of picked up after that point. But
he's given her 30 days to refile. To me, this is a major misstep by the city pushing this into federal court, in my opinion, because you've got on the state side, you have, of course, the Supreme Court ruling against us in the
thanks to us,
which they quoted during that hearing.
Sure, everybody. That's that we made case law by suing Hoss Mack for that body camera footage from Jonathan Victor being shot, and you have that ruling which said basically this body camera footage is forever and ever, it's investigative material and nobody has to release it. Mm-hmm. Then the state came in and codified that with a law. And so there is a state law that basically says they don't have to give us body camera footage either. However, taking it into the federal court, anything can happen,
Well, I'm kind of curious why even though everybody thinks that when you make a FOIA request, you can do that to local government or municipalities, and you cannot. That is only for federal agencies. So, that's not what she's arguing.
No, right? I think her biggest thing was that she didn't want to go through their methods of filing, which is that they require you fill out their form. Yeah. And she didn't want to fill out their form, which they also said, well, you're not following our rules.
Yeah. And she claims that they didn't even tell her the rules until they sued.
Which I'm sure they probably didn't.
Yeah.
They're not exactly helpful. So, they certainly haven't been helpful to us in most of those things.
You never really understand how unhelpful some people can be in this until you file a public records request and you understand.
Well, even I was telling somebody this earlier today. I said, the new laws on public records, and I think you've been through this a lot, Scott, but I think it's made it worse in many ways.
Yeah,
because it's just given these more ticky-tacky things that people are saying, and we've got to do this now, we've got to do that, and we can charge you now for this, and we've got 2 weeks to answer you, and now they're pushing this time frames and all this kind of stuff that make it just even more difficult.
The law is supposed to make it so the law's intent is to make it a clear process that you can rely on, and it can be you can actually expand public records access, but they're using it to obstruct it instead. So instead of because they put a time frame, now they just wait to the end of the 10-day time cap every time.
Yes.
I've never gotten one since until the day of. So
now it's not like
and then it'll be like, oh, you have to go through these steps.
Well, or they add another requirement that pushes it out another 10 days.
Right.
I think, all of us we just need to review this whole thing across the state, because right next door in Florida, you can get body camera footage.
It's exactly what I was telling somebody that person I was talking to earlier. I was like, Florida is totally different. Yeah. You just here you go.
You just ask for it.
Yeah,
because they gave it to me.
It's not obstructing their investigations. Like they're not having issues.
We're talking about it also often. We're talking, especially in cases that are closed, and that's a big part of the issue. So we've got, when the case is done, it's closed. This camera footage or whatever, these documents, why are they being held back again? It doesn't make any sense. And I don't think in Alabama we're ever going to get anywhere until we have some method of appealing this to somebody who has the authority to punish those who do not follow the law. And that's what it is. So what happens now if you don't follow the law?
In this specific case too, where no charges were filed.
Right. There wasn't even an investigation.
There's nothing to investigate.
There wasn't an investigation.
Yeah.
So how could it be investigative material if there's not an investigation?
Right. That's just ridiculous. It is in the public interest to see who in the heck was up at a government building.
It was buried. So that was
across the board. The public records just need to be more open. I was talking to somebody 100%. In Arizona the other day. I was like, they asked me, is it really $10 to get a business filing out of Alabama? I said, yes, it is. Yeah. You can Google and find every single business filing on Florida right now. You can get any court case, any court filing for free in Florida.
Hell, even now our probate court charges you for everything. It's everything. It is. It's for documents that have been sitting in there for decades.
Yeah.
It's just
in Alicourt, it's 50 cents a page. Oh. For an electronic copy, it's
all of the stuff. It is very expensive, and it's very time
nickel and
consuming,
diamond.
and it is difficult. But in this case, she does have the opportunity to refile, and it'll be fascinating to see because she's almost certainly going to be rejected by the city.
Sure,
and that will give her an opportunity probably to go back before a federal judge, and we'll see what they have to say about it.
Yeah, and the judge said, how about for now you just go through the process. But you have your lawsuit at the same time, and you let the two things run parallel and see where we can go.
But I do think if a federal judge looks at it, and if it gets into a federal court and they start talking about First Amendment and whether people should be able to see these videos or not, it could have an unintended consequence, I think. Yeah. But we'll see. I kind of hope it does.
Yeah,
maybe I'm just being a wishful thinker. Well, it was also a tough weekend for Bama fans, and we don't have Tommy here to do sports today. But
no, we do not.
But I'll let you handle the Bama explanations. You guys can.
Obviously the coaching is just
Kalen DeBozo
and Kane Womack, our former Jag, were like,
I know.
So there's a lot of hatred. There's a lot of anger. There's what.
It's just, Randy Kennedy had a really good column in this week's paper too. It's not just the coaching, it's the team itself. They just look like they could
care less
to be out on that field.
They couldn't care less. Let's
they could not care less.
Let's act like we write for a living.
That's true. But they're so flippant, so apathetic.
Flipping.
I'm done. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I set her off with the couldn't care less thing. I was just joking.
Well, anyway, I think the NIL stuff too is really, if all you really care about is getting a paycheck.
Right.
That was
like that Ryan Williams.
So
he's got millions of dollars coming
So y'all saw that thing I sent you today that Wall Street Journal did about the billionaires in every state. Did you look at that? That was interesting.
So we got that yellow fella.
We got one dot.
Jimmy Rain.
We got one little dot. It's like property that's controlled by billionaires in each state. And in Alabama, there's one dot. There's Alaska has 0 and North Dakota has 0.
Yeah.
We got 1. And
we did have somebody right across the line in Mississippi and one right across the line.
We're bordered, right? I noticed there's two
who are those people?
I haven't heard of those guys. I don't know who they are.
Do they live in Cantonment, Florida?
I don't know. I noticed that as well. I was like, we're kind of bracketed right here. We got a couple billionaires real close. But yeah, I mean, you look at that and you go, look at Texas, look at Florida, look at California, you look at some of these other places, and you're like, how in the world can any of these smaller states compete with this when
well no I mean but it's not like Texas looked fantastic either. It's but by that logic they should have
that's because he has a bad sidearm throw, but Ohio's got some money too, so
I mean I don't know, I mean I just think if you're already a millionaire and you're not having to prove yourself to get to the next level to make millions of dollars there, then maybe you just don't care
true
anymore.
But I mean you look at like Tank, what's his name here?
Jones,
here in town. Going from he's going to Oregon because he's getting apparently I don't know.
But he's been a lifelong Alabama fan,
right? Yeah. Rumored to be lots and lots of money. I don't know how much, but so it is going to be difficult, I think, for teams to keep up if they don't have that kind of
I mean,
money.
how can you be hungry when you're already got millions of dollars in the bank?
I wouldn't be.
You're set for life.
Yeah,
it would be hard to get out there and run around in the heat,
and you don't want to get hurt because
that would affect your ability to make money.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just become little NFL. It sucks.
It's minor league NFL.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Bill Belichick now at UNC.
That was the most entertaining part of the whole weekend.
That was, his team came out and they looked great on that first drive, and like they're showing the girlfriend. I'm like, what's the over under on the girlfriend shots? And the new Taylor Swift thing, where you're just going to see her every time the team scores.
I'm all for it.
And then,
I mean, just watching her get all mad.
I was loving it. And then it's just this, I
had to go back and watch that
interview. Then they just get
video.
thrashed. I mean, it was like, wow.
We're not talking about this.
And then the TCU social media, I mean, it was hysterical the whole
time.
They were just trolling them the whole game.
Is his girlfriend going to be sitting in the press conferences and shutting down questions for him?
He's needed. He'll need it. But yeah, that was...
there was one meme today that it was like had Bill Belichick and this really old lady, and it was like Bill Belichick's girlfriend if he hadn't had Tom Brady. I was like,
that's quality. That's good stuff. All right, well, football season will continue this week. I'm excited for NFL to get kicked off, and we had our fantasy football draft yesterday, so we'll see what happens on that end. Kyle, you had first pick, so you got to be pretty stoked.
They ranked my bracket third. Like I got third place in the bracket.
Middle of the pack, and I take on Rob this week.
So well, I don't know.
Predicted to win.
I don't know. I'm not.
I think I've got Brady.
Really happy about my team.
That scallywag Brady Petrie.
That used to work here.
Who used to work here? Yeah, that bum.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll give people a full report when we come back next week. Thanks, folks, for listening to this episode of Lagnapod. We'll be back next Thursday. Take care.
The Lagnapod is a Something Extra publishing production. Executive producers are Rob Holbert and Ashley Trice. Music is by Some Pulse Sounds and Electro Animals. Only subscribers like you have access to this podcast. Tell your friends they can sign up at my.lanyapmobile.com. For advertising opportunities, please call 251-450-4466.